So, I'm not really good at putting words together, but something really messed up happened to me, and I need to share it with you all. This happened back in high school, when I was just this awkward kid, always sitting alone in the cafeteria. 'Cause, well, my so-called friends didn't really like me. So, one night, I had to stay late at school for this dumb project. I was in the empty classroom, with that flickering light that's been broken for ages. Creepy vibes, right? Anyway, I was just trying to get my work done, minding my own business, when I heard this weird whispering. It wasn't like a regular kind of whisper, It was like someone talking real close, but there was no one around. I looked around, and the halls were empty. I figured it was just my imagination, the usual stuff when you're alone in a big, old high school. I tried to ignore it and focused on my work, but the whispers got louder. Like, really loud, man. I could almost make out what they were saying. It was like a bunch of people talking all at once, but it was all jumbled up. Freaky, right? I decided to check it out, 'cause, maybe someone was messing with me. I stepped into the hallway, and that's when things got real messed up. The whispers started getting clearer, and it was like they were saying my name. Not just once, but over and over again, like some messed up chant. I was scared, like really scared, but I kept walking down the hall. The whispers led me to this old abandoned part of the school, the part they don't let students go. It was dark, and the air felt heavy, like something was there with me. As I walked, the whispers got louder, and I could feel eyes on me, even though I couldn't see anyone. I turned a corner, and there, at the end of the hall, was this figure. It was like a shadow, but darker, if that makes any sense. It was tall too, like way taller than any person should be. I couldn't move, man. I was frozen in place, just staring at this thing. The whispers were deafening now, and I could feel them in my head, like they were trying to tell me something important. But it was all gibberish, like some messed up code. Then, the figure started moving towards me, and I booked it out of there. I ran like I've never run before, and the whispers followed me all the way. I burst out of the school, and it was like everything went silent. No whispers, no figure, just the sound of my own heavy breathing. I never stayed late at school after that, and I never went near that abandoned part again. I don't know what the hell happened that night, but it messed me up, man. I can't explain it, but if you ever hear whispers in the empty halls of your school, just run. Run as fast as you can and never look back. I remember the air being kinda chilly, and the creaky sounds of the swings swaying in the wind were the only things keeping me company. I had this weird feeling in my gut, like something wasn't right, but I brushed it off, thinking I was just being paranoid. So there I am, sitting on the cold metal slide, staring at the empty swings, when I noticed this flickering light near the old maintenance shed. It was like a faint glow, not the bright kind, more like a dim flashlight. Curiosity got the best of me, so I decided to check it out. Yeah, I know, not the smartest move, but I figured it was just some janitor or something. As I got closer, the light started to reveal something I wish I never saw. There was this figure, all hunched over, scribbling something on the ground with what looked like chalk. I couldn't make out their face, just this dark silhouette against the dim light. And then I saw it. words written in a language I couldn't understand, surrounded by these weird symbols that made my skin crawl. I froze, thinking maybe it was some prank or a weird art project. But then the figure stopped, looked up, and I swear, even in the darkness, I felt its gaze pierce through me. Panic set in, and I booked it out of there, not looking back until I reached the main gate. My heart was pounding, and I fumbled for my phone to call my dad. That's when things got even weirder. My dad answered, but his voice sounded off, like it was coming from far away. He kept repeating the same thing, over and over, like a broken record. I couldn't make out the words, just this creepy, distorted noise that sent shivers down my spine. I ran home, not daring to look back. And when I got there, my dad was fine, totally normal. But he had no memory of answering the phone or saying anything weird. I tried to shake it off, telling myself it was just stress messing with my head. But here's the messed up part. The next day, the school had no record of any maintenance work or anyone being there after hours. It was like the whole thing never happened. I can't explain it, and it still gives me the chills just thinking about that night. I don't know what I stumbled upon, but I pray I never come across it again. Stay safe out there, guys. Hey there, folks. You won't believe what happened to me the other night. So, I'm this young woman, right? Just a regular college student. Anyway, I was at school, like always. I'm in this club, nothing too fancy, just a bunch of us hanging out in the club room, goofing off and whatnot. It was getting late, and everyone decided to call it a night. Now, I'm not one to bail out early, so I stayed behind, to finish up some work. The others left, and suddenly, I found myself alone in the club room. The silence was thick, and you could hear the distant echoes of doors closing and footsteps fading away. I lost track of time, buried in my work, and before I knew it, the clock struck midnight. Now, let me tell you, this school at night is a whole different beast. The dim lights, the creaky floors, it's like a different world. But I didn't mind. I was used to it. As the night went on, I felt this weird chill in the air. I brushed it off, blaming it on the ancient heating system in our school. But then, I started hearing these whispers. Soft, almost like a breeze carrying distant voices. I figured it was just my tired mind playing tricks on me. The thing is, I got so caught up in my work that I didn't notice the whispers growing louder. It was like they were circling around me, taunting me. I shook my head, thinking it was just my imagination. But then, I heard my name in the whispers. Clear as day, my name being called out in that eerie chorus. I looked around, feeling my heart racing. The club room seemed different, like the air had thickened. The shadows danced in strange patterns on the walls. I stood up, thinking I should leave, but then I realized something even weirder. The clock on the wall wasn't moving. It was stuck at midnight. Fear started to crawl up my spine, and I stumbled out of the club room into the hallway. The school, once so familiar, felt like a maze of endless corridors. I could still hear the whispers, now echoing through the empty halls. The sound of my own footsteps seemed to synchronize with the eerie chant. I decided to head for the exit, but every turn led me deeper into the labyrinth of the school. The whispers became more urgent, like a desperate plea. I felt a cold breeze, even though the windows were all closed. And then I saw it, a flickering light at the end of the hallway. As I approached, the whispers reached a crescendo. The flickering light turned out to be an old projector in a forgotten classroom. It was playing a reel of grainy footage. Images flashed before my eyes. Scenes from the past. Faces I didn't recognize. And then, my own face, terrified, in the dim light. I stumbled backward, tripping over my own feet, and the whispers turned into anguished cries. I ran, not knowing where I was going, until I found myself back in the club room. The clock started ticking again, and the whispers faded away. I left that school that night, never to return. I can't explain what happened, but I know something isn't right in those empty halls. So, if you ever find yourself alone in a quiet school at night, be careful. You might hear the haunting whispers of the past, just like I did.